channel. If you're new, I hope you'll stick around to see our homeschool journey. My name is Jamie and I'm a homeschool mama of 3 boys. They are 8, 6, and 21 months old. In today's video, I want to share with you what I'll be doing this week in Rooted in Reading. Rooted in Reading is my curriculum for reading, grammar, writing, and it also ties in vocabulary. So I'm going to just share with you what my plans are for this week for it. And I want to show you all of the stuff that we have. The first thing I'm going to show you is the books that I'll be using. So this week the main book is called Night Tree by Bunting. And this is an older book, but I've actually never read it. So I'm very curious to see what it's like. This is our main text for the entire week, and it's a fictional text. She does recommend 2 other books, one of them being called A Tree Named Steve, and I couldn't get that at our local library, so what I'm going to do is see if I can find a read aloud on YouTube. And then the second book is Owl Moon, so I'll read this to the boys as well, sometime during the week. The next thing I'm going to show you is just a day-by-day play of what we'll actually be studying and using. So on Monday, we'll read the book, and we'll talk about some different discussion questions that come with the curriculum. Like, for example, when you look at the book cover, what do you think about? Which animal does Nina compare herself to? What do they have in common? Once we finish going over those questions, we will be discussing the vocabulary. And when I'm done with this part, I'm actually going to add on to this video the different things that I already have up in the room to kind of show you what I also use. So we'll have the vocabulary that we'll be doing, and we'll be focusing on 2 words on Monday: lopsided and and spattered and lopsided. And then fill out this little paper. It has definition, illustration, your sentence, and an antonym. For Monday, we will also be doing a comparing and contrast, and we'll talk about Luke's family tradition and then our family holiday tradition. And they'll just give me a sentence for each, comparing them. And we'll also fill out this graphic organizer. It says, let's compare traditions. Luke's, ours, and then any similarities that we have will go in the middle. So that will be our anchor chart for that day. There's also a poster, which I already have posted up over there, and I'll show you those when I'm done. For grammar this week, we're working on contractions. So they're going to do this little activity where they make these little flaps, and it says make me a contraction. So we'll cut these out, we'll glue the top part, and that will flap up, and it says cannot, and they'll turn that to can't. So that is what we're doing on Monday. On Tuesday, we'll be using that same book, The Night Tree, and we're going to do a draw and respond with oil pastels. So we're going to kind of combine art into it, and I have some oil pastels, and they're going to draw like a little picture, and then they are going to actually write about the story, like their favorite part or just something little. I'll have them write about it. So that will be our writing. So our reading will be reading the book again. We'll be doing those questions. So I'll save some of those reading response questions, and we'll be doing some of those. Then we'll also be doing for reading, talking about main idea and details. So they have these little main idea Christmas trees, and I have this little story I'm going to read to them. And together we'll figure out the main idea and write on the Christmas tree. And then our details we'll write on ornaments and put on the Christmas tree. So that is our reading. For writing, we will do the picture, and then they'll write something about the story that we read at Night Tree. For vocabulary, our words are scramble and bundle, and they'll fill out this little activity again with it. And then for grammar, we're going to be doing contraction trees. So for these, they will write on the first one, they would write can't. Then they would write can, not. That's just an example, but they'll pick 3 contractions and write it on there. So that would be for Tuesday. For Wednesday, what we'll be doing is we will be re-looking at that book, and Wednesday will probably be when I read them Al Moon as well. And then we'll be doing this little activity here, which is we'll read this little passage, and then we'll talk about how does the family feel about Christmas traditions. So that'll be what they do for reading. For writing, they're going to do a Christmas tree writing craft. Students are going to make a Christmas tree landscape. So we're going to make this landscape. And I didn't cut this out. I didn't print this on like colorful paper because I feel like that's taking away some of their creativity. So each child is going to get a set of trees and a moon and tree trunks. And they're going to get to color and create their own landscape that will look like this. And then their writing for that day is a Christmas tree writing. So they're going to get to talk about their Christmas tree traditions. And they can make up a story about what their idea of Christmas tree would look like. So anything they want their Christmas tree to look like, and here is the paper for that. So that is for their writing for the day. And then for grammar that week, they're going to make My Christmas Contractions. So they get to pick 3 contractions. It's a 3-page booklet. They're going to write the contraction on the picture. So that's a present. This one is a ornament. And the last one is a stocking. And then they take that contraction, whatever it wants to be. Again, let's say they put won't. Or, trying to think of, can't think of any contractions today. They'll write a sentence about it. It's a beautiful day. So they would write the contraction it's, and then they would create their sentence. So that's what they're doing for contractions. What they're doing for vocabulary is the same activity, but their 2 words are lantern and hibernate. And we get all of these words from our story, The Night Tree. So that would be Wednesday's activities. Thursday's activities consist of, for reading, we're gonna read a nonfiction text called Evergreen Trees, and I'll read that to them. And then they'll have a nonfiction passage that they'll read about evergreen trees and answer the questions. That's for reading. For writing, they're actually going to do a response about evergreen trees and give me some facts about evergreen trees. For vocabulary, they are going to play a game called Spin and Cover. And we played this last week with a Santa Claus. And you can't see it, but it's on my board over there. And they loved it. So what you do is we play with the little spinner. They spin and they pick a number. So let's say they spin it and they picked 7. Let's say my oldest picked 7. I would read him climb over. And he would have to tell me which word would go with climb over. And if he got it correct, he would color in that circle. At the end of the game, whoever has the most circles colored with their colored crayon, so I did red and green for both my boys. One was red, one was green. They win. We played this last week and it was a tie. What's fun about it too is if he gets 7 right, if you land on 7, you lose a turn. They really enjoyed that and it was a good review for vocabulary. So that's what we're going to play on Thursday. For Thursday for our grammar, we're going to be doing the contractions. And it says, the deer does not come back. And they have to change does not to doesn't. And they would just write the contraction on the line. And these will be posted up around the room. And we normally call this write the room. So they'll go around and look for all the Christmas trees with the sentence. And then they would write the contraction. And then for Friday, for reading, we just review the book. Sometimes I let them listen to it if I can find it on like Storyline Online or Tumble Books or YouTube, because they really like listening to the story like through a video. And then they take the little comprehension quiz. They also take a vocabulary quiz on Friday. They also are going to do this little vocabulary activity as a review before they take the quiz. They'll cut out the Christmas tree and see if they can match the vocabulary words. And then they'll do this little contraction activity where you fill in the missing blank with the contraction. And they also, oops, I forgot to show you. We also have the day that they're doing evergreens and we're reading the evergreen book. We'll fill out this anchor chart on evergreen tree facts. So we have 2 anchor charts that week. And that will be it for our activities for the week. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just kind of go around my room real quick with my camera, and I'm going to show you like where I have their posters up, where I have their vocabulary up, where I hang the anchor chart, and then we do this little activity right here as well. We normally do this first thing in the morning because it's right around our calendar. We talk about our weather, or how many days we've been in school, our calendar, and here we also do this in the mornings together. It has mentor text, which is a sentence out of our actual text. And then on Monday, it says, explain what the family is doing in the sentence. And they each get to put a little post-it note up here explaining. Tuesday, highlight the nouns and the verbs, and then write your own. What we do for that is they tell me, and I highlight them for them on our actual text up here. On Wednesday, it says, edit the sentence. So again, I pull out this little card, has a sentence that's misspelled on it. It's this sentence. And together we talk about it and we edit the grammar mistakes. And then I rewrite it for them. Thursday, it says, what does admire mean? And on Thursday, we talk about it together, and I normally write it on a post-it note and stick it up there for them. So that's something that we do, but we do it together, and I do most of the writing there. It's just to get them talking to me using a sentence from the text. Okay, so now let me get my camera and flip it around and show you guys the posters and things. So right here is our vocabulary. I have a little pocket chart. It's really close to our table. You can see my tripod there for a minute. It's really close to our table, and that's our vocabulary for the week. And then right beside that is this little board. It's like an anchor chart. And I tape our posters for the week on it. So this week we'll be talking about comparing and contrasting, main idea, getting evidence from the text, and answering questions, which is what we do every week pretty much with those questions. And then we'll be doing the contractions. So I'll go ahead and put our posters up for that. And then on the opposite side of that little area that you just saw with the vocabulary words and the posters is my easel. And then I normally just lay my anchor chart over it, so that way they can see it. And then normally we bring it to the table and post the post-its, and then I'll carry it back over there and leave it sitting there for the week. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more homeschool videos. Thank you so much.